Welcome to the Cuddly Cast. Pay no mind to the logo. We haven't gotten that changed yet.
Yeah.
Even though we have, as you can
Well,
see.
Yeah.
well, there was a typo.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
He accidentally spelled the second word using all the wrong letters.
Yeah, exactly.
The common
Uh,
blunder.
common, common blunder, rookie mistake.
but
Hi, I'm
welcome.
Jasmine.
Yeah,
I'm Maddie.
I'm Gwen here.
and I'm Randall, also here. Don't pay any
Yeah,
attention to the guy in the back. He doesn't have any
he's new.
characteristics.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll learn more about him as we go on.
I hope
But
we don't.
today,
What
okay.
are we doing, dude? What are we doing?
Today
Today.
we're going to be discussing the episodes Something Smells and Bossy Boots.
Mhm.
Sure are.
We sure are.
So I think we ought to do that right now.
Okay, are we ready?
I
I
believe.
have... Awesome.
So we start this episode with another. It's the inverse of our famous SpongeBob sleeping scene because in season 2 we're getting a good amount of SpongeBob waking up scenes.
Mhm.
I feel like this does a lot. Like season 1 was about being relaxed. It was about like just being cozy in bed. Season 2 is about waking up and getting out there.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It's
This
so much
episode
work.
in particular, I feel like has a lot of interesting background shots I'm gonna put up on screen. Like a lot of varied. They were able to do a lot more with the animation this season, I think.
I'm
Yeah, that's the
curious if
season 2
that's like
touch.
a result of them switching to like digital ink and paint and
I
not having to
think it
I mean,
wait,
it'd
is.
have
not
to be, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so
Because
SpongeBob
they,
wakes up.
they don't got to worry about all that cell stuff. They can probably fit in more details in a little bit less time. So he's waking up
Mhm.
to his to launch himself into his giant calendar that he has.
Now,
And today,
does this calendar match up with any, what month does this, huh?
let's see. Let me look.
As it just
Oh,
says
those
calendar,
days
it's
are
not
not
a month.
very legible.
Uh,
It's got 31 days though, doesn't it?
yeah,
On this calendar.
3,
Okay. So like something else about this calendar, he says it's Sunday, right?
yeah. Yeah, why is Sunday there?
Yeah.
Yeah, why is a Sunday there? What kind of calendar is this? Like
In the
Sunday at
in
the
the
end of the week?
yeah, at the
Sure,
in the underwater world, Sunday is the 6th day of the week, you see.
Hmm.
that's messed up.
Why is one this is so confusing. What's the world building here?
SpongeBob.
It's and another thing, it's another episode, second episode in a row to take place on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's true. But unlike the previous one where the Krusty Krab is open on Sunday, the Krusty Krab is back to being closed on Sunday,
And we don't
which
see Mr.
suggests,
Krabs this entire episode. That's a little something to think about. What's he
Yeah.
busy with today?
Church.
I think he
I
like
think
he saw naked Squidward and he had to like repent. He went back to his old Catholic ways.
Born Again Christian Mr. Krabs. That's what the season 3 episode Born Again Krabs is about, just for
Mhm.
reference.
I believe it.
God, I'm incorporating this into my SpongeBob headcanon.
Good. So
So
because it's
SpongeBob, yeah,
Sunday,
go ahead.
SpongeBob has to make a Sunday.
Does he do this every Sunday?
Would be an
And he,
awesome way to kick off a Sunday, honestly.
and he goes into his
Yeah.
scary kitchen.
This is a very scary sequence,
Yeah,
if we're being honest.
there's just something like almost dreamlike and surreal about it because like
Yeah.
instead of we learn here in a bit that he's going to make his sundae, but he doesn't have any ice cream. He doesn't have anything in his freezer. So instead of
Yeah.
being like, oh, well, I'll just run to the store and like grab some ice cream. No, I guess we're gonna improvise and we're gonna use something similar to ice cream, which apparently is a giant bottle of ketchup that he
Why
just.
doesn't he use the fucking bananas?
We're not there
Well,
yet.
because it's the wrong consistency. I don't
Yeah, I guess
know.
It's
so.
saying this is essentially the weirdest fucking episode of SpongeBob so far. Like this is like a minute in, and he's like launched himself into his like giant surreal nonsense calendar, and then just started like taking random ingredients from his nightmare kitchen and putting them in a
Yeah.
bowl.
And he's
Frantic mania in his eyes.
and his kitchen is so sparse. He has nothing in his home to eat.
He
Except
has ketchup.
giant bottles of ketchup and two enormous bags of onions.
I mean, he
Yeah.
does have cherries and bananas, but those are cliche.
His like four cherries that he just has sitting in his wooden cupboard. His sad fruit compartment that he has in his home.
Really? This is the first SpongeBob episode that C.H. Greenblatt has like the main storyboard artist credit for. I just
Yeah.
thought that was interesting and explained a lot.
Yeah, this whole like opening scene does kind of feel like a Chowder bit. Like Chowder would be making like a gross sundae made out of like inedible like crap.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anything in the sundae is technically inedible, but
Besides
let's
the
just say this
the
is not a
plant soil,
challenging would you eat question.
he puts a potted plant, soil and all, in there. I don't think the soil is edible, is
We,
it?
Yeah.
we talk about the potted plant bit where he's like, we're out of peanuts, but I know where I can get something. And he looks at his bathroom, joke that, like,
Yeah.
the fake out that he's gonna eat poop. Is that what the
I
joke
never
of this?
really thought of that fake out. I
Yeah, I
just
never picked up on that if that
Hmm.
was like an intended thing there. I just thought he was looking really weird at that plant above his toilet.
Like,
Yeah.
why
yeah,
else would it be in the
I kind of just
bathroom?
assumed that the joke was that it's gross because it's in the bathroom.
I I like the joke that Gwen's talking about more though. I think it makes it funnier.
I think it's kind of fucking deranged. It adds to the whole how insane this like it all
Yeah.
like goes by so fast.
It
There's
really
Yeah,
so
that's
does.
much here.
that's the thing about season 2. Like compared to season 1, this whole opening segment would take like 3 minutes.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to compress these. There's just so much in this fucking episode.
But like with both of these episodes, we're just like right into it and the
Yeah.
rest of the episode just gets to like go on. And I like that a lot about season 2. I like the vibes of season 1, but I think I like the breakneck pacing of season 2 a little bit more.
It feels
Oh
like the
yeah.
shackles are off. They're able to do whatever they want now. They're free.
Took SpongeBob
Yeah.
off his medication.
He is like insane this entire episode.
So
I don't know what his
SpongeBob
deal is.
he eats his nightmare Sunday and he's stinky now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Such a weird concept for an episode. Just the whole episode being that this character has bad breath.
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
breath to the extent that it has like a body count by the end of it.
So he looks at his schedule and he's go to work, but that's his weekday schedule. Because the
Yeah.
Krusty Krab, as we know, is always closed on Sunday. So instead he's
Always.
going to say hi to everyone in town.
And so he does.
Yeah.
He goes out into the world. He's
saying hi
completely
to
unoblivious
everyone
to
in
the
town.
fact that his breath is horrible and shitty.
Let's talk about him saying hi to the mailman. One, I
Yeah.
think this is like the first. This might be the first bit of SpongeBob like ruining the mailman's day, which is kind of like a running thing later on.
Yeah.
You're right.
I
Second,
have
the
some
mailman like his breath smells so bad that the mailman transitions.
okay, I put this down in my notes.
Yeah.
What do we make of the multi-layered male fish, especially when the innermost fish is a girl? Transgender Norton? Did a SpongeBob crack Norton's egg by smelling oh so fucking bad?
I mean, that's the only way to explain it, right?
I mean, literally, she just cracks open and bam, it's the girl. Good
This is
for
the
her.
one. Yeah, this is the one positive thing that SpongeBob has done today.
Yeah.
Transgender allegory aside, this might be the weirdest fucking visual joke like ever.
Yeah.
Really?
Just cracks open into a different guy, then that guy cracks open into a woman. What does it mean?
It's honestly like I cannot get the thought process behind this in like a writer's room of like, what if there's
Yeah.
a joke? SpongeBob smells so bad that the mailman is three people when upon smelling.
Yeah, why did they make this joke?
It's like a riddle.
It's scary.
And
Airy?
SpongeBob continues his horrible smelly breath incidental rampage by disrupting the crossing guard.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a fake out joke of like a car coming and a bunch of people, only for it to be the
A bunch of kids.
yeah, a
Yeah.
bunch of
Yeah!
kids. That's right.
I
fact
fake out
they're
jokes of it,
children is
SpongeBob
important.
eating poop and a bunch of kids dying in a horrible car accident.
Yeah, and like SpongeBob fucking recoils from it too, and
Nah,
it's
it's
not a
just
car. It's the bikini bottom shirtless man's band marching down the road here. I like this bit. I think it's
Yeah.
funny that SpongeBob is saying hi to all of them individually, including our
yeah.
beloved didgeridoo player.
Beloved character didgeridoo player.
Was this everybody's first exposure to a didgeridoo? I know it was
Among the
Yeah.
old
Yeah,
mine.
one.
probably.
I think we still
This
have it
may or
actually.
may not have been an episode I had on
Hold
VHS.
on.
I honestly forget because, like, I saw one VHS which does have this episode, and a lot of the episodes feel vaguely familiar to me, but, like, I
Mhm.
don't remember watching Graveyard Shift much at all as a kid, which is the big sticking point.
Yeah. It's also a fun visual gag that like all of the breath is like condensing into a big ball that's gonna bowl all these people over.
Hey, listen to this. Actually, I don't
Oh
know if
shit,
Holy
we do
shit.
have a didgeridoo!
Didgeridoo player?
yeah.
Do we
Special
have
guest didgeridoo player from
no
SpongeBob?
way? This is a surprise to me. I didn't know we got him.
Alright, I gotta
Got
go
him
put it
on.
back.
Maddie, you didn't tell us you were on SpongeBob once.
Yeah. You didn't tell us you owned a
Or
didgeridoo either.
yeah.
So
Okay, that
SpongeBob like kills everyone and the town is instantly vacant. And
I
then we
need
get a
yeah.
to bring up a couple notes. One,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
when he says "hi pianist," I think that is very easy to edit to
Yeah.
penis for all
That
the
is the
Yeah.
YouTube
second.
poopers
That's
out
the
there.
second thing in this episode that is really easy to edit to say penis because when you said peanuts earlier,
Oh yeah.
That's true. But
peanuts.
also it leads to the question, what kind of marching band has a fucking piano?
A good one.
And when Marching Man has a didgeridoo player.
Yeah, a good one.
That's
Anyway,
true. This is the best fucking marching
We
band,
also,
and it's criminal that SpongeBob killed them all.
well, we do get a non-Fred attributed my leg here, which is kind of interesting. Or either
so
that or Fred
Spon
is in this band.
yeah.
Maybe. I mean, he has to have hobbies outside of breaking his leg and being a chaser.
SpongeBob tries
True.
to
Yeah.
find people. Right.
He's
and
like
he
in his
Yeah.
Silent
finds
Hill now. The whole town is
yeah,
vacant, and then he finds a giant wad of bubble gum, which is
here
the
he
other like
is.
not as confusing, but it's kind of a weird fucking joke that Patrick is sitting on this bench with his limbs
Sucked
completely
in.
withdrawn.
Yeah,
What's the thought process here?
It's kind of
there's
fucking
no point
awesome,
for this.
actually. I would do this.
It's not something I ever considered as like a kid, but why is Patrick doing this? Why is he assuming this form in
Like,
public?
he can do this.
He
He
can.
can morph into his wand form.
I love.
Oh my god, Eraserhead Patrick.
Oh,
He never does this again. It's so weird.
yeah.
This whole episode is just full of weird bits.
This is a
Yeah.
weird episode.
It's like a nightmare. It's
Is a
literally a
weird
nightmare this whole
episode.
time.
That's the thing.
SpongeBob
I feel like I've just become so overly familiar with this episode that I haven't stopped to contemplate how weird it is.
Mhm.
It's so fucked up. What were you gonna say, Gwen?
I was gonna go on with the plot summary. SpongeBob's
Yeah.
breath smells so bad that buildings run away, but Patrick doesn't have a nose, so he's ineffective. And then Patrick makes video game history by saying his immortal line.
Can we
Right.
talk? Can we talk about the
Maybe.
fucking audio bug here?
Yeah,
Audio bug.
I got it too when I watched this episode.
What do you
I
mean?
just don't get it.
I watched this
When
episode
he
on
said it,
legal SpongeBob episode online website. It like repeats SpongeBob's dialogue in this scene where he's talking to the building. He's like, "I just don't get
wait, really?
Yeah, have you
Yeah.
not heard of this? It's really good.
No, I watched
on.
it on Paramount, and it was normal for me.
All right, so I showed Randall the clip. I'm just gonna show you all the clip right here. I'm just gonna edit it in. So that was freaky, right? Like what? How did
Yeah,
they
that's-
just ignore that? That's still in like digital releases and stuff of the episode. To my
They
just don't get
knowledge,
it.
they just don't get
That's-
it.
Yeah.
That's
You'd
fucked
think
up.
they'd want to fix that.
Yeah,
That is like, it's not even a small error. That's a pretty noticeable error.
yeah. Like what the fuck?
Anyhow. But
Anyway,
all
yeah,
of
then
that
the
aside.
Then Patrick says his immortal line.
Mhm.
You maybe, yeah.
Contemplating that,
Sounds.
but it's not. SpongeBob's got style.
He's got his iconic rose.
And his
Oh yeah,
belt. This is scary. This is him.
yeah. This is also nightmare
It's
imagery
like
here.
this is SpongeBob when they add him to Brawl.
I always
December
hate like the
3rd.
close-ups of SpongeBob when they give him like the really pink like bottom lip.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
So scary.
And then Patrick suggests that maybe he's just ugly. Then we
So
get
SpongeBob says hides himself in a mirror, but the mirror breaks because his breath smells bad. But SpongeBob thinks it's because he's ugly.
another thing you'd kind of see in a nightmare.
Yeah.
So then he
Yeah,
asks two people if they think he's ugly, and his breath smells so bad that they commit suicide.
Yeah,
By means of the hooks.
yeah. Where'd that hook come from?
It
Are they
It-
just
it
like
may-
dotted around Bikini Bottom? Are they like an ever-present threat to people?
I guess. That or they like summoned an escape rope.
And then right after SpongeBob like makes two people give up on life, he like causes some poor man to like crash his car and explode, and he dies because there's no trace of
Yeah,
him left, and then his car gets a ticket.
he's pretty obviously dead.
He's absolutely dead.
So again, the episode just goes right back to being fucking unhinged and people just dying and exploding.
They get a lot of dying and exploding in this episode.
For an
Okay, so
episode
our
that
death
just the
tally.
character has an episode that just this character has bad breath, there's a lot of carnage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a death toll of 3, at least.
What's the horrible like mutilation count?
Well, I guess there's also the mailman. What does that even count as?
I think that like
Uh,
makes up for the deaths because now the
yeah.
mailman gets to
That's
live for
like
2 life.
-1
That's
deaths.
true. Okay, so the body count is still 2.
So, after SpongeBob kills those people, he doesn't lament the fact that he killed those people. It just admits
just so
to being
sad
ugly.
Yeah.
He's ugly.
So I actually forgot
Shout
this
out, I'm
part.
glad we got both my leg and my eyes in this episode.
You're right.
This upcoming scene, I always forget this is part of this episode. I always just attribute it to just some random, I don't know.
Yeah,
Are you-
distinct but also kind of standalone.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is
we
also the
also-
best part of the episode, though.
Can we also talk
Oh,
about like
yeah.
the weird, like vacant hallway that SpongeBob has in his
Yes.
home? That's like barren and untextured.
I think this is like the stairs up to. No, I don't know what this is, right? Does he have like a
This is the
second
back rooms.
stairway?
Yeah, there's stairs that go up to his bedroom, and this is leading to his study, which is like
Yeah.
down a
Kinda
slide from
halfway
his
up.
bedroom.
Hmm.
I guess they just wanted like this atmospheric shot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always like when we go to SpongeBob's study. It's just such a weird thing that he has that it's never really brought attention to.
Yeah.
Just
I
this
love his
giant
study. It's such a
library.
weird, moody setting. Has really good set design for like a place we never see.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And so
How
he's
does he
playing his
afford this like
famous pipe
big
organ.
study with all these books?
Hmm. It just
It's
came with
another
the
part of the
house.
dimension. The house makes new dimensions on a whim, and this is just one that it keeps around, I guess.
Yeah.
And so SpongeBob's playing his famous pipe organ in his study in the dark.
He's wearing his iconic Groucho Max. Groucho glasses.
Yeah.
And he's just so upset about being ugly, but Patrick decides he's going to help SpongeBob by telling him a little story.
It's a story about the ugly barnacle.
Yeah. Whenever I see
I feel like-
this frame, I just think YouTube thumbnail of this
Yeah.
scene.
I think of the image that's like the caption on it is compassion grows as we learn.
Yeah. Oh, I know that one. This really is probably like top 10 jokes of the show potentially.
It's just so
It's
like
a really
blunt.
good joke.
Just like SpongeBob expecting to be told a nice, inspiring story about his predicament, only for the story to be that there was a barnacle so ugly that everyone died, and that's it.
We like talked a lot about how season 1 was the peak of Patrick, but like season 2 has also had some like really strong Patrick here early on. Like he's a
Yeah.
little bit more wacky than before, but he's still like he's really good in this episode.
Yeah.
He still feels like he's got that DNA in him still. He's a chill guy. He doesn't really do anything like too crazy in this episode. All he does is just say that his friend is really ugly, pretty much.
I love how much he insists on it.
He
SpongeBob
he
just
like goes
asks-
to town on he's pretty much just owning SpongeBob this whole episode. And so I like the bit where when things get Patrick down, what he does is scream and they just screams.
I
And then we get a
love this
scene
shot.
I always forget in this episode. Because it's also really weird and out of
Yeah.
place in the episode.
You remember the classic thing on his chest bit?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
gross
Yeah,
sucker.
what the fuck is it's like an alien.
We
I
It's a
crushed the
thing.
alien.
we never see this type of thing again. We don't talk about what this thing is. It's got the Reddit antenna on it too. It's pretty weird.
This is like Reddit Squidward.
It's a redditor.
Oh my god. The Simpsons predict Reddit.
Yo!
So
Yo!
they're standing up on SpongeBob's roof, and
Yeah.
Patrick's trying to get him to. Patrick's gaslighting him into admitting that he's ugly really loudly to everyone. I like to think that Patrick he doesn't fully believe that SpongeBob's like ugly or anything. He's having a goof on SpongeBob this whole episode.
And I think he just is saying this to, like, support SpongeBob. Like, if SpongeBob thinks he's ugly, he must be.
Yeah.
So he has
This
to, like,
is a
support
trans
him in that.
episode.
This is like well, okay, so after SpongeBob shouts that he's ugly and he's proud, and Squidward's like, "Is that what he calls it? Do you think that was a gay joke?" What's the consensus?
That's what I've always interpreted as. It could be a lot of things. Squidward doesn't like a lot of things about SpongeBob. Also, can we talk about how Squidward got on his roof? How did Squidward get on his roof, and why is he on his roof to sunbathe?
And every time he tries sunbathing on his lawn, he gets fucking killed.
Yeah.
I don't know why
It
he's
is very-
sunbathing at sunset though.
It is very orange
Yeah,
to me.
that's a little weird. But his house is always getting destroyed. He can't trust it.
Mhm.
This is true.
Especially when the security system takes control of Squidward's house
We're
and
not there
begins
yet.
Yeah, we're
I
quite a ways
know.
away.
So then SpongeBob and Patrick goes to the movies now that SpongeBob feels good about himself again.
Yeah, I guess this
Yeah.
is just where the third act of this episode is now.
They're at the movies.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
we're
like
at
it.
the best Splatoon stage, the Reef.
I like how fast this episode goes. It really does kind of move at a clip, and I like it about that.
The SpongeBob kills more guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And there's a very
Well-
particular guy in here that we're gonna get to.
I
Hold
just
on.
like I just noticed looking at these screenshots that one of the guys he killed was like on a date with the fucking redhead lady. They're like
That he
holding hands.
verbally
and
muted.
SpongeBob just fucking killed him.
how do you think she feels about this fact?
Mhm.
I don't think he feels remorse. I feel like he
Good.
lacks it in this episode.
Oh, I
then
meant
he,
like the woman on the date. How
But I
does
think
she
she has
feel?
like she doesn't seem to notice, and then she like shrivels up and is like maimed and mutilated. So like
I don't know how many of you
I think she
remember
has bigger
this.
problems.
Yeah.
This fucking fish was like a YouTube clip or whatever for like years. That was
We-
like
Before we
Yeah.
get to the awesome part, can we talk about how nice this dude is?
yeah.
At
Not
first,
at all, boy.
and it just makes me think about the Tumblr post where like if SpongeBob's breath didn't stink, they would be married.
Yeah.
Yeah, SpongeBob could marry Blue Fred in a better timeline.
Yeah.
But in our timeline, Blue Fred hits the
yeah,
And-
however they spell it.
I love this face. I think it is like
It's perfect.
quintessential to me. When I was but a young one, this
Little
this
spongeling?
you didn't need to tell me a joke. I just needed to look at this.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. So he ruins a bunch of people's lives and he starts crying.
Yeah. Typical SpongeBob stuff.
Yeah. So Patrick has a solution to help SpongeBob feel better about his current predicament. He's gonna lift him up to show everyone just how ugly his friend is.
I'm just
So he-
looking at the specific incidentals in this theater, and our good friend Scooter is here. And there's
Oh
also
yeah,
like
he is.
multiples again. We have several blue Freds, several Toms.
Oh my god, we do have several blue Freds.
Oh.
Is that the same fish? Did he just move seats? He didn't leave the theater, he just moved seats.
Yeah, there's a lot of duplicate incidentals here.
Yeah, there's there's like 5 blue. No, there's 6. There's 6 blue Freds in this shot.
There's like 2 scooters in this shot.
There's 2 Toms. There's a mirror. The same lady
Oof.
is sitting on the same.
There's
On the
5
first, like-
Toms in this shot.
There's a lot of Toms. It was clonate at the theater, okay?
Yeah.
It's always
okay.
fun to point out. What if SpongeBob just kept quiet? Would they have stayed? Because this is
I mean,
kind of
yeah, if
his
SpongeBob
fault.
just didn't open his mouth, the movie would have gone fine.
Oh, we're looking at him.
Yeah, we look at him, everyone leaves the theater.
I like how when everyone's leaving, there's just like the one fish who's lagging behind the rest of the crowd. That's a good
Yeah.
like small visual gag.
Mm-hmm. And SpongeBob's bummed out that people still hate him, but Patrick's happy that there's no line for the concession stand.
Yeah.
They must be on break.
Luckily, SpongeBob in his pocket has the fucking Nightmare
What?
Sunday.
Yeah, why does he have this? Why does he A, still have some of this, and B, why does he have it in his pocket? Even if it was an actual Sunday, would he have just kept, like, loose ice cream in his pocket to give to Patrick?
We all know that he would.
Yeah.
He would.
I like the visual gag of it burning Patrick's eyebrows off, too.
Yeah, this is when he lost his eyebrows.
Oh, it all started here. This is Patrick's descent. And so he slurps it off SpongeBob's hand. And then immediately goes right through him, and he's got to go to the bathroom where there's still people in this theater.
The people in the bathroom are unaffected.
And
Till now.
he's
I wonder
watching
how
his,
like weird this like bathroom area is too. With
It's-
like
Yeah, it's
super
so
reflective floor and everything.
liminal space.
it really does feel like the final boss arena for
Oh,
this
hey,
episode.
Scooter's here.
Oh
Or-
shit.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
No, that's not Scooter.
That's not Scooter.
That's Imposter Scooter.
That's famous purple fish
Scooter.
with green hat.
That's Tim. Whatever his name is.
Hi, Tim.
That's D. Bradley Baker fish right there. Patrick's washing his hands, and next to him is some guy, and Patrick needs soap. And his breath smells terrible, and D. Bradley Baker fish just gives him all of his money to leave him
Yeah.
alone.
And Patrick tries to tell a joke to 3 other incidentals, and they yell at him.
Specifically the
Wanna
line,
hear a
"Hey, guys,
bathroom joke.
you want to hear a bathroom joke?"
I wish
This
I could
place
hear
looks
it.
like the fucking Thousand Year Door remake.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
That is a really shiny floor. I guess
Yeah.
props to the janitor.
Like for a bathroom, like
It's like I said,
Yeah.
it's the final boss arena of the episode.
I can't wait for like Mirror Patrick to like swap places with regular Patrick.
yeah.
Like Infinity Train?
Like Infinity Train. So Patrick has the ugly and he becomes a recluse.
Yeah,
When SpongeBob comes to go check on him, Patrick snaps.
I like that SpongeBob also like recoils at it too when he takes off his bag, even though Patrick looks the exact same.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
SpongeBob just saying there's power in pride. Happy Pride Month, everyone.
It's
Happy Pride Month.
I like
Yeah,
Patrick's
okay.
reflection here.
oh my god,
What? Wait, what the fuck? What? Hold on. I didn't look at it closely before. What? Huh?
He's transparent.
Yeah.
He's he's kind
No,
of
he's like
transparent.
his face is like different in the reflection.
I mean, the eyebrows would be out of frame, I think.
What if
Ah,
what if
what they?
what if this mirror Patrick finally took over?
Oh my god, this is when it
He
happened.
broke out.
We were getting a subtle hint seeing the reflection down there. That's the real Patrick in pain in the other dimension. And so Patrick thinks SpongeBob gave him the ugly.
SpongeBob's lower
And
body had very thick outlines here.
yeah, so
Wait, what the fuck?
Patrick breathes his gross breath on SpongeBob, and SpongeBob learns the truth
Yeah.
about all of
I
this.
love Patrick's little rant here. I
Yeah.
was one of the beautiful people. Now look at me. I'm almost as ugly as you.
Yeah, he's really like laying it on thick in this episode.
This might be the
And,
original Patrick's a Prick episode.
and then we get
Yeah.
the awesome like continuity bit here where he says he doesn't have a sister.
Okay, no, yeah, hold on.
We have the SpongeBob split timeline starting here, where it's like
The reflection's possessed.
we're not in the Sam or Squidina timeline in this episode.
Oh, you see, Mirror Patrick doesn't have a sister.
Mirror
Oh,
SpongeBob looks up.
You're right.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
We're just gonna cut that evil character out of frame. We don't need
That's
to know he
scary.
exists. I wonder how many other of those I missed. Weird evil.
Probably a lot. What I've noticed about this episode is like with this and that audio bug, this whole thing just feels like extremely just like not even like conceptually, just like unintentionally fucked at points.
Yeah,
It's a nightmare episode.
it is.
Then we get another gross SpongeBob painting here. This shot scared me as a kid. I'd always like turn away when it
Yeah.
when it
It's a
panned
bit
like this
frightening.
painted.
They put a lot of detail into like his eyes and everything. I like the continuity on his belt pattern though.
Yeah.
I really
I
like
also
this
like
frame.
the
I've
I
never
also like
seen
the line.
this.
I like the line where Patrick talks about what he had. He's so pleasant. He had some roast
Yeah,
beef,
he's
some
back to
chicken,
being
pizza.
Pleasant Patrick.
Mhm.
Clearly
look-
he won the battle with his mirror self.
They look so excited in this image. They're like
They're so happy.
they're about to do a Mario and Luigi Bros attack.
Like how Patrick has like a cat face.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's kind of cute here.
He's kind of cute here.
And they discover that they just stink.
Mhm.
And then they rot the theater from the inside out with their horrible breath.
It felt a horrible pile of like noxious slime.
When's the next time we see this theater?
Is it
I think it
Is
might
it
be
gone?
like
Yours
best
is
day
Wigstruck.
ever. Oh yeah, it is
Wig
Wigstruck,
Struck has
which is
it,
funny.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because we see Squidward is checking out wigs.
Foreshadowing?
I think so.
Oh shit.
I hope Squidward had a good outing here. I mean, nothing really ruined it. They didn't ruin his outing
Mhm.
by saying that they
need
stink.
to make the awesome sequel episode about Squidward's day wig shopping.
Squid's day off too.
Yeah.
And so they inform Squidward that they stink and they run away. And the last line of the episode is SpongeBob saying, "Smell me."
Which really puts a nice like capper on it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what did we think about Something Smells?
This is such a fucking unhinged episode.
Yeah.
Like, I think in general, season 2 is a much more like fast-paced season compared to 1, but also it's just a matter of like this is so unhinged, but I kind of love it for that. Like, I feel like this could have just been like a really not very fun gross out episode, so I think all this stuff with like SpongeBob believing he's ugly and how fucking off the rails it gets like really helps it along.
Yeah.
I've been sort of like going between a 5 and a 6 for this one in my head. I think I might go 5, but I'll see what you guys think.
Yeah, I
hmm
hmm. I don't know. I think yeah, I'm gonna rate it a 5.
hmm
Yeah, I
Any other
agree.
thoughts?
It's just
Okay.
what it's scary. I revisiting this episode, I've come to realize uh I like the episode, but it's very
Oh yeah.
interesting with how
It
they
has some very iconic jokes, like the
yeah,
fucking ugly
I love it.
barnacle, like,
I really
oh
do
yeah, it's
love
a good
it.
episode, I think, for sure.
It just feels
hmm
like odd, right?
A
Like
nightmare.
yeah,
It's very like
slightly
it's
bearish. Yeah.
it's a nightmare. It's just kind of disorganized. There's not much of like a story, and like a lot of the jokes are kind of hit or miss, and a lot of them like
Mm-hmm.
push really hard into surrealism, so they don't always land for me. Like the ones that
Yeah.
land really hard. Like we have like the ugly barnacle stuff, and like generally like how Patrick is here. It feels like one of his more villainous outings early on, but like it's done in a very like entertaining way that still feels true to his character. That's kind of
It
between a
The
4 and a 5
very
on this one
it's
because this
it's
episode is just kind of like
he is evil, but it's
nightmare.
done with good intentions.
I can definitely see like the like season like 6 or 7 version of this episode that's a lot worse and doesn't have like any jokes.
Yeah, I had that in
This
Yeah,
my
episode like
notes that this is the
juices
best
itself up
version
a lot.
of a gross out late Bob plot.
Yeah.
absolutely. Like,
Yeah. It's unhinged and it's weird how like people keep fucking dying and exploding, but the alternative would probably be a much worse episode. So I
Mm-hmm.
think I have to like show the respect to this episode because it did make me laugh and it is like really fun to talk about also. I think I have to give it a 5.
hooray
I'm
for
also the same. I also gave it a 5. This episode, it's a really funny episode. My appreciation for it goes beyond like that. That this episode is like just really strange, and there's no other episode like this in like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of aspects. It's it's terrifying. It's a terrifying episode,
It is.
like, I
and I
think
kind
there's
of love it for
only
that.
so much mileage you can get out of SpongeBob's breath smells bad and people recoil in disgust, but for what it's worth, they do get fucking weird with it, and I do appreciate it for that.
For sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really solid one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've we've talked about that. Now let's talk about something more important. What to do with your money.
Happy 25th birthday to Bob the Sponge.
Yeah.
That
This
was a
is the
couple months back, but like they've
Still.
really been pulling out all the celebrations like right now. And
Mm-hmm.
that includes Discord profile shit that costs way too much money and frankly is not worth it.
Yeah. This is fucked. I hate
13
this.
bucks for a SpongeBob? Like,
These are NFTs.
it's it's really weird. Like, have you seen people that have these things around their
No.
profile picture?
No.
Or not the
no.
SpongeBob ones.
Yeah.
Well, I mean like just like these Discord flares in general.
I've
Eh,
seen
'Cause I
a
don't
couple,
couple,
but
but not friends.
I see bio effects sometimes when I'm checking someone's bio, but like I don't think I've ever seen like the icon borders
I think I've seen.
like
I
that.
think there's a couple free ones that people with Nitro can use, but
Yeah, I think I've seen
yeah,
those.
yeah.
Right.
But other than
So,
that, no.
and I feel like the elephant in the room here is if you're looking at some of these numbers here, you'll notice
Mm,
that they're a little too big for what's being provided here.
yeah, I, I immediately latch onto Gary the Snail, which is just the window.
Yeah,
Yeah, what's
like
with that?
there's an animation where if you mouse over it for long enough, Gary's eye stalks will pop up, but
Mm,
it's really funny just if you don't have
yeah,
that context. It's just a window.
it's just the window. Uh,
It's like the scene from I Was a Teenage Gary where a dying Gary was looking through the window.
Oh my god, they should have done that. I would have paid like $15 for Dying Gary.
I
yeah.
think all of
No, I
these
wouldn't have.
now we've discussed like how expensive some of these are. How can we improve on these? What are some of the things that they're kind of missing here that people would pay
Squidward.
money for?
See,
I mean, I
Well, there's
guess there is the handsome
yeah.
Squidward one, but
yeah.
like, there's not really a Squidward icon border.
Uh,
What we could do that'll make $1 million is if you had one of these here based off of beloved characters from your upcoming movie, Saving Bikini Bottom, a Sandy Cheeks movie. If you had
Oh my god,
Kyle and
a
Phoebe,
Sparky? Imagine
Sparky.
like the Sparky icon. Imagine like,
I
oh my god, you can
feel.
like mouse over someone's border and then like Kyle and Fifi pop up and they're like, "Whoa, where in the bio?"
Yeah, they have like a speech bubble that pops up and it says that.
I feel
And like
like
there's
a couple of these just don't really do anything interesting with the whole, oh, this is on the Discord uh icon or what. Oh, some of these are for the profile in
yeah,
general. I see.
but at the same
Yeah.
Uh,
time, why would you want this when you can have Sparky dancing in your bio?
yeah. And
So
like
Well, if you want
covering
this,
up
you
we
all
could
your
buy like
fucking words.
you could buy like a sandwich. You could buy like Hollow Knight on Steam.
Yeah. You
you
can
can
buy
buy a pizza from Little Caesars with money to spare.
on the
You
Steam
could buy
summer
like
sale.
2 pizzas.
You can buy like 13 copies of Celeste. Do it. It'll kill you.
I'm thinking the other day. So the other day, I watched the episode Grandpappy the Pirate, and at the end of that episode, Grandpa Redbeard talks about the ludicrous prices at the Krusty Krab, and it's like $2 for a Krabby Patty, and I'm like, man, I wish I lived in a world where I could get a sandwich for $2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were those ludicrous prices back in 2009?
I don't
Were
think they
they?
were, honestly. I don't know. I guess like a McChicken was like $1.
Yeah, that's back when food could cost like less than $1 feasibly. And now you get like you spend $5 on something that's just like a
Mm-hmm.
dollar back in the day. It's depressing.
It is depressing.
$20 is the equivalent of $5.
So
This fucking sucks.
the thesis here is why would you buy any of these?
Yeah.
For what purpose would owning any of this and spending your hard-earned money on it?
It's stupid. It's just
I don't
blocking
know.
me.
Now that I'm seeing it, now that I'm seeing Maddie's, I think it's worth it now. I'm gonna spend
No!
13 I'm gonna spend $13 on this profile picture effect.
Plus tax.
Oh, can't forget
Mm.
plus tats.
think the worst one has to be the fucking chicken SpongeBob.
Yeah, why? They really
Wait, why are they
they
fucking
really like
cheaper?
that one.
Why are they cheaper in Canada? Because the Canadian dollar is worth less. What the fuck?
Canadians need something. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a video for a different day talking about all the terrible forced SpongeBob memes, but I think Chicken SpongeBob's easily the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Or at
god,
least
one day we're
close
gonna
to the
rank
worst.
SpongeBob memes.
One day.
Maybe when we run out of money again.
Yeah.
So our buyer's guide here at the Krusty Cast, don't.
Is don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't.
don't.
Oh,
I mean, happy 25th, SpongeBob, but like, don't. All right,
I want to say you're
so
better than this SpongeBob, but I don't think you are at this point.
Yeah, no. He's too far
Like, can you
gone.
imagine if they had a Slappy profile image?
oh my god, I no
I
joke,
really
I
love the
break my
idea
rule.
of them
I
just
Yeah.
pay
They
13.
need to
treating all these weird new Bob characters like they're an integral part of the I mean, it kind of feels like they're doing that with like all the forced Camp Coral references and shit.
Mhm.
Every character, Narlene the
Yeah,
Narwhal.
are you saying that Narlene needs like a bio effect?
Yes.
I was too afraid to
Put the
say that.
narwhal horn on the profile picture. There you
Oh my
go.
god, and
And the
you get the
seaweed.
hair too,
Yeah.
and you get the
And you can
hillbilly
get like
smile.
big
The
feet
teeth.
that smell bad. I have never watched a single episode with Narlene, and I
Me
dread the
neither.
day I have to.
One day we will have to.
I
Uh,
I hope that day don't come, frankly,
no.
but
I hope I die.
I hope we both die.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
you know
That,
now.
that,
Thanks
oh,
for
I have
nothing,
to
Discord.
double middle segment. I have to bring up something that
Hmm.
was posted in the
Oh yeah, breaking news
general
while we were
channel. Yeah.
recording.
Yeah. They uh in the next SpongeBob movie, in SpongeBob movie 4, uh they're recasting the Flying Dutchman as Mark Hamill. Like,
For some reason,
like
Well, he's a celebrity. Think of how many parents will be like, "Wow, I know who Mark Hamill is."
Brian Doyle Murray isn't dead or anything.
no, he's not, and he is the Flying Dutchman voice.
Yeah.
What?
Like, what's he gonna sound? That scares me. He's
And
not gonna sound good.
it's not even like Mark Hamill's a huge get. He's in fucking everything.
If you're not gonna have Brian Doyle Murray, get like Clancy Brown to do it or something. I don't know.
I mean,
He can probably do it.
I guess maybe Brian Doyle Murray's kind of getting on in years.
Like,
All these SpongeBob actors sound tired.
yeah. I guess that voice would probably be pretty straining to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Yeah,
not
that's fair.
and I'm especially not advocating for Mark Hamill nowadays, despite all
Mhm.
that. But it just
Yeah.
feels like a jarring and unnecessary change that like won't add anything.
Yeah.
Like if you can't get if you can't get Brian Doyle to voice the Flying Dutchman, invent like a new ghost pirate character or something if you gotta.
Hey,
Mhm.
bring back that guy from like Ghoul Fools or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. He got out of the void. Good.
it's crazy how terrible thing after another.
The absolute decay of the SpongeBob brand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We are literally seeing it in real time.
It's happening in our
I think
lifetime.
we've been seeing it. The Patrick Show has
Yeah.
been on the air for years.
Eh, Yeah.
Well, it's the first time we've seen it happen over the course of a middle segment.
That is true. A bit historic in that sense.
So look forward to that. This movie's also probably going to be terrible if it's anything like the Sandy
Yeah.
movie.
We can,
Wait,
by the time
are
it
we
comes
going?
out, we can probably review it.
Are we going to watch the fucking Plankton movie when that comes out?
Yes.
Are
Yes.
we going to do a bonus episode on that? I feel like we gotta, right?
We're locked in for life now. We like sealed our death warrant with the Sandy review.
What if
We
it
have to watch
fucking
every terrible CGI movie they
what
make
if
now.
what if the Plankton movie also leaks?
I hope it does.
What if
Yeah,
one of
me
these movies just randomly turns out to be fucking peak?
I think about that all the time with like these obvious trash movies coming out. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they have
Oh
it in
yeah,
them. I don't think they have the
absolutely.
resources. I don't think they have the drive. I don't think there's any incentive for them to try.
Yeah.
because like they had to have seen the response to the Sandy movie and said, "Oh, nobody fucking likes this thing. Do we just like shelve it? Do we just move on? Maybe tats right off, do something else?" No, let's like go all in and keep advertising that it's coming out.
Sigh.
We did not mean for this to turn into like two middle segments and like a separate rant. We should probably move on.
Yeah.
All right. So we've we've made it out of our horrible depression corner, and now we're here to talk about Bossy Boots, our second
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
With musical guests, the Capsules. I'm gonna point this out every time they have a musical guest.
I did not remember this had
Yeah.
a musical guest. What did they do?
I think it was the song playing in the Cuddly Crab.
Yeah.
Didn't have vocals or anything. So I thought it was just like production music, but that's
Yeah.
it's not Ween.
It's not
It's
weird.
not
No Ween.
Ween. It's not Pantera either with their fucking insane card.
So we open at the
Mhm.
Krusty Krab, and Mr. Krabs has his megaphone and he's shouting right in his employees' ears. Because
Yeah.
there's a meeting in his office. So they go into
They
his
go-
office, and Mr. Krabs has news.
SpongeBob's so ready for the new spatulas, but it's not the new spatulas.
This episode
guy.
also kind of starts at a pretty breakneck pace.
Yeah.
Get right into Pearl is here. This is Pearl episode.
Yeah, and Mr. Krabs states that Pearl's coming on board to help make some changes around here. And I do like that Mr. Krabs is very supportive of her in this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also
like
She's gonna be
learn that
working here during her summer break, and she's gonna bring in the hip teen customers.
and we kind of get a little bit of a redemption arc for Mr. Krabs here, where he says my mammalian angel. So I guess his opinion on mammals has gotten a little bit higher, it seems.
He's such a complicated figure, that Mr. Krabs.
Yeah.
True.
so true.
Anyway, Mr. Krabs leaves the room, and Squidward immediately starts plotting against Pearl because he doesn't want to get bossed around by a teenage girl.
I like that he describes his and SpongeBob's job as our pathetic positions. And yeah, it's just moving like right along. They decide to conspire against them, and then they'll get the new spatulas.
I really like I really like the like whole dynamic here in the beginning, where it's like the struggle of power between Squidward and Pearl, and like SpongeBob like kind of being too nice to really pick a side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish that persisted more throughout the episode, but it's nice here, I think.
We'll get into that as we get introduced to Pole.
Hello,
Yeah.
Cole.
Loophole.
I I feel like as a contrast for like last episode where it was so like nightmarish and surreal, I feel like this one's a little like too mundane at points.
It's
Yeah.
very down to earth. This might
Yeah.
be one of the most grounded SpongeBob plots. You could like very realistically do this in just like a real life human setting.
Like Bob's Burgers. This could
This
be a
this
Bob's
is a little
Burgers
Bob's
episode.
Burgers ass episode.
And so SpongeBob like folds immediately.
Yeah.
He's all in
Yeah,
on the
he puts on
changes.
the funny new costume. I like the joke where he puts the box over him and Squid's like, I like it so far.
Yeah.
Squidward
Uh,
tells SpongeBob to tell Pearl how he really feels, and
it's a sequel to Walking Small, like let him have it.
Yeah.
You can
Mhm.
have it.
I feel like this is like a little bit of a variant where like SpongeBob really genuinely does love this outfit.
Yeah.
He's just
yeah.
a little gay man.
And we get the defeated fish paste. Which that's always kind of stuck out to me. That's definitely this universe's shit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Squidward says only a fool would wear that outfit.
Yeah,
It's
this is
immediately
this is what took
Mr.
me out.
Krabs.
Mr. Krabs comes out of his office
So
after
inspired.
Squidward
It
tips
feels
the
like they
fool.
know exactly the joke we were going to settle on someday.
Like, this would not even be a funny joke in any other context, but because of the fool and his involvement, this is easily like one of the funniest bits of the entire show to me. Only the fool would wear this.
Only a fool would wear that.
I also don't want to gloss over the part where like Pearl calls Squidward Uncle Squiddy.
Yes, that stood
Yeah.
out to me a lot
A-
because,
a
like,
Pre-established
That's a-
like relationship between them there.
yeah, it's interesting because, like, that feels like a weird and out of context line at just this point, but later on we get the Squidward was Pearl's babysitter when she was a baby lore.
Yeah,
Oh
that makes
shit,
sense.
really?
Yeah, that's what the plot of whale watching is about, and it's just like, holy shit, was
Huh.
this like... So the real question is, was the story of whale watching built around that quote, or is it just like a weird coincidence? I
Right.
feel like I could go either way here.
I want to believe that maybe it was, but at the same time, it's pretty likely it's not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Mr. Krabs makes Squidward put on the outfit, and Squidward uses his magical clothes transformation powers to not move from the spot and change his clothes into it. And he's seething.
He fucking hates
Mhm.
it.
One thing I like about this episode early on is how nice the Pearl and SpongeBob interactions are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just get along so well in this episode.
And I also love SpongeBob's funny little drawing where they all have
That's what
mustaches, and that's the change
I think that's my
that he
favorite joke.
wants
Is
to
like,
make.
well, I have wanted to make some changes around here. It's the shitty drawing of them with mustaches.
They've all just got these handlebar mustaches.
I think how like shit the drawing is really sells it.
Yeah.
Also, as potential movie one foreshadowing, we have to point out.
Potential sleepy time callback.
Hmm.
He wants to get visited by a mermaid.
Had a mustache,
Oh, yeah.
remember?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. How long do you guys want to talk about the human skeleton we see?
Yeah.
It's a little messed up to think about
Yeah.
God.
that the Krusty Krab on the other side of it, it's a dirty, horrible, creepy pasta land where there's just a dead guy sitting on a table that nobody's bothered to
A dead
move.
human guy. But
Yeah,
small.
like
This
is also the
this
second second season episode where we've seen a human skeleton at some point.
From
this was
SpongeBob episode, I
clearly
saw the skull.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boys. Like sidekick, but they died.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
After this, we
So-
get like probably I think the most memorable sequence in the episode, the like coming up with a new name sequence.
Yeah, this is gonna be hell for me, isn't it? I'm gonna have to put all of these on
It's
screen.
just rapid fire visual gags. I
You know what?
think the best part comes at the start where like Squidward's like, yeah, it's a terrible name, but this is a terrible place for the name.
I always love it when
Squidward is so good in his screen time in this episode where he like hates the Krusty Krab, but also doesn't want it to change because he hates change even more.
like every Squidward
Yeah.
hates his
Big.
job joke in this episode is a winner.
Yeah.
I also like when Pearl said that who would want to eat at a place called the Krusty Krab. The
Yeah.
Krusty Kast has got to go.
I do like how
That's why we're
SpongeBob
the
just
cuddly
starts getting
cast,
fucking
or the kissy
violent
cast.
with the suggestion.
Like, why is he goes insane. You like this is like one of the scariest SpongeBob moments to me as a kid was his like jump scare.
Can we talk about creepy crab SpongeBob for a second? Can we
Yeah.
dissect his design for a little bit here? He's round. First off, he's standing on like the top of like a dark city for some reason. He's wearing a floor-length fur coat, holding a brain with Mr. Krabs' claws on it. And then we get the killer
is-
crab.
You cut
The
out.
killer crab.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm saying is, it's a really weird, specific design for like a one-off bit. I think that's how he should have looked for the rest of the series.
Yeah, honestly, this is some like Gege no Kitaro if SpongeBob was in it shit. This is what he'll look like in Hakaba SpongeBob.
And so they decide on a name.
The
They didn't
cuddly
want-
crab.
They didn't
I
want
think
to
they
be.
stole our brand.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we're the cuddly cast now, I guess. Rebranding.
Yeah, I think this is where the episode starts going downhill with Squidward being misgendered and then being public nudity moment.
Yeah, but something interesting about this scene is
He does use his
elderly
powers.
Fred. We talk a little bit about elderly Fred.
Yes, hold on.
I do like that he lights his head bopper things on fire with the power of his anger.
Yeah,
It's his magic power.
the Elder Fred.
Why? Why did they use Fred? Why didn't they use one of their old incidentals?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. They just kind of use
Scary.
the regular incidentals instead of old people incidentals.
Wait, I like their really
They also
tiny
use the regular
car.
incidentals instead of like young people, but they also don't really have young people incidentals, so
We can
I
just
can't
pretend
tell
these
if
are all
this is, like-
teenagers for this episode.
I can't tell if this is like a
Yeah.
tiny car or if this is like compared to usual.
This was a season 11 episode. All of these like new customers, these teenagers would be like completely new designs that we would never see again.
They didn't.
yeah.
But here's my biggest gripe with this: we don't get to see new incidental from Hooky. Where's new incidental?
Hmm.
Where is new?
Oh,
I mean, I say that this is where the episode goes downhill because Squidward leaves, and I feel like it takes a lot of the like dynamicism out of the like group dynamic. It just becomes
Yeah.
really for a bit here.
I really wish that he stayed for like the whole thing. Like, what is getting Squidward out of the episode like accomplish?
Like, I guess it gives time for like SpongeBob and Pearl to like breathe on their own and give SpongeBob a chance to like turn against Pearl on his own.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
I suppose so. It feels like you're taking a major part of the episode out of the episode, and
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's
definitely would have
supposed
preferred if Squidward had a bigger role here because he is like he does add a lot to the first act of the episode, and I feel like the second act is a lot weaker.
for sure.
Also, I want to point out that like the whole like cuddly crab design leans so much to the same aesthetic of like Pearl's Dream and Sleepy Time, where it's like a kid's room with like plushies and stuff, and it's like,
It
oh, so
is-
the writers still don't know what teenage girls like.
Yeah,
To
this is
be
like
fair, I do think that is justified by like the
Yeah.
end of the episode.
Yeah, I was gonna put that out that like it might be retroactively like 4D chess, but also given that they made this be like Pearl's unironic like what she dreams about earlier on, and also it's hard to say if this was like an intentional move or like if this was supposed to be what teens like.
Yeah, when you really think about it, like what teen, especially from like this point in time, would want to come to a place like this? It's like a preschool.
It's like a preschool. It's the
You know,
90s. Teens loved like smoking cigarettes and killing people or something. I don't know. They like skateboards.
Yeah.
and then we get my favorite line of the episode where an incidental just says, "Finally, a cool place for teens to just, hang out." Some of my favorite bits of like ADR on this show. It's really funny and unnecessary.
I
We
would have
need to
not known this was
establish,
a cool place for teens to, hang out if it wasn't for that incidental.
Mhm.
and it's apparently a success. They're all liking it.
I
Everybody's
like
happy
I
with
like
it.
this guy.
Ew. That's
Gross.
that's yeah, that's a little odd. I wonder what his deal is.
Mhm.
So SpongeBob's he's enjoying it until he's gonna go make Krabby Patties, which Pearl didn't really like stop him right here and tell him no. She like waited for him to get to the kitchen and make some Krabby Patties.
Oh, but now the menu only has salads.
Yeah.
Yeah. And SpongeBob just has no clue what a salad is, so
Good news is this is the second most embarrassing salad in SpongeBob history.
He at least put a tomato on it. Like it's a lot more impressive just because of that.
And it just so disheartening to him having to take apart that Krabby Patty. Which, like, I get we learn later that Pearl's kind of deliberately doing this on purpose. Like, do you think that's what all of these decorations were for too? Was she expecting this to fail also?
Right.
It's hard to say.
Huh.
Like I said, like it feels like it should be that, but like we know that this is what the writers think teenage girls actually like. So like,
And yeah, so she rips the grill off the wall in the time it
Yeah.
takes SpongeBob to take some salads out. And then we get the new menu. A $2 salad and $1 for tea. Which,
Fucked up.
yeah, it's a little messed up. Especially if you're selling those kinds of salads. Like just a piece of lettuce and a slice of tomato on top of it. That's not $2 right there. Come on. So
it is in
SpongeBob's
today's economy.
today's economy would be like $5 at least.
yeah. And SpongeBob's not having it.
Mhm.
He doesn't like it. There's no Krabby Patties. There's no reason for him to go on.
And also he has to be the mascot now. We get
Yeah,
another scene of a asshole driving by and insulting someone in a mascot.
I do like this though. The big doofus convention sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing for the nitwitting?
Oh my god. This episode's just like full of it, huh? It
Foreshadowing
foreshadowed.
for The Grill is gone also. I am not looking forward to the net wedding. I've never seen it, but I don't want to.
I don't want
We
to.
we foreshadowed the full bit. We foreshadowed whale watching. We're foreshadowing this. It's The
SpongeBob
Simpsons.
goes to confront Mr. Krabs, whose office also.
Yeah, and Mr. Krabs
Uh,
has to pretend.
Yeah.
I always really liked his little squeeze toy here.
Yeah, I want his fidget toy.
I
And
really this very like impassioned Fancy Brown monologue about how expensive everything is.
Yeah.
yeah, He's still trying to be a good dad. He doesn't want to just fly off the handle and just say he's not into it. But he's also an
So
enormous
he's instead of
cheapskate.
being a bad dad, he decides to be a bad boss and make SpongeBob do it for him.
Yeah, typical manager shit right here.
This is like a good Squidward episode for when he's in the episode. I also think it's a pretty good Mr. Krabs episode. I think it strikes a really good
Honestly.
balance of him like trying to be a good dad, but also being like a money wise business guy. And also kind of a
Yeah.
shady, shitty boss.
That's the thing. I think the episode dips a bit in Act 2, but I honestly really like how Act 3 plays out with like the
Yeah,
character dynamics. I
Yeah,
think
He
the
really brings
core
it all back together.
yeah.
it does all pay off around this point, I think.
Like so Pearl goes into the kitchen to talk with SpongeBob and immediately breaks down because she's been trying to ruin this business because she doesn't want to work at the Krusty Krab.
Yeah.
Nothing she's doing is
I don't know if any
actually
of
working.
Hmm.
I don't know if any of you remembered, but I did not at all remember this being the twist of the episode.
No,
So
yeah,
like,
me
it really
Yeah.
neither.
surprised me.
I
mean, I
did.
rewatched this episode earlier this year when I was just rewatching all of season 2, but when I watched it then, I was like genuinely surprised by this moment because I kind of thought the episode would get into, oh, teenage girls and their silly demands, but no, I actually really love this twist. Like, this
It's
is a load-bearing scene for the episode to
it
me.
Yeah,
it
like
honestly
really does like make the episode like work.
because like
Yeah.
this scene alone, like it gives Pearl more character than anything she's gotten in the first season.
Like you
'Cause
kind of
this is
expect Pearl to just be like the teenage girl tropes character, and like you kind of think, oh, she's going overboard with her like silly teenage girl whims, and she's gonna have to get the talking to. But then she's like, turns out she has like this whole like plan in her head that she's like been trying to like execute. It gives her a lot more
yeah,
like like independence and like internality as a character.
it
It's
gives her
really cool to see.
agency.
It gives her
I really
agency.
love
That's the word.
I
It's
really
just
love what this scene does for the
yeah,
episode and for Pearl as a character. I do feel like Pearl's always been like the least developed of the show's main characters, so scenes like this do a lot.
This
honestly.
is like the best we're gonna get for Pearl characterization until like season 9, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still a good turn for the episode to take because they're both on the same page now. SpongeBob's gonna pretend to fire her. He says I'll take the heat from Old Man Krabs later, even though that's what Mr. Krabs told him to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he's like
he's
playing
just
both
like
sides.
yeah, he's not going to reveal to Pearl that Mr. Krabs wanted to fire her.
Mhm.
Oh, I guess that does make sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't consider that.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
really
they
smart. It's a really
I
well
really
plotted
love
ending.
it
Yeah.
really is. I love this war character dynamic at the end.
Yeah, I
and then
don't
they
like.
Yeah.
I don't
Also
like how
during this
Pearl's
time
mouth
we
can
get
go
the
to the
line
end
of
of the
all hip
snout.
young people eating
Ew.
salads, and I just love the line delivery on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so SpongeBob and Pearl go make it a point to go in front of Mr. Krabs' office to do this, so he'll hear.
Mhm.
And we get more
And
like Mr. Krabs like flailing about. I like the part he like looks at himself in the mirror. Is like, "It's a good company."
no, he says this is for the best when he sees himself
It's
in the
for the
mirror.
best. Yeah, something like yeah.
This is kind of a Mr. Krabs cry episode when you think about it. And so Mr. Krabs dies. He has a heart attack and he collapses in his office. And Tom Kenny gives like the most horrific shriek I think he's ever given in his whole life.
I mean, did we even mention what happens where where SpongeBob tries to fire Pearl and Mr. Krabs is just like he's having
Yeah,
trouble taking it?
Yeah.
yeah, it's like he wanted this to happen, but he's having
He's still
second
not
thoughts about
happy
it.
about it.
She's
Yeah.
still conflicted.
Yeah.
And then Pearl gets fired, and she kisses SpongeBob and just runs off and drives away with her friends.
The mall awaits. And then SpongeBob breaks the emergency dollar on the wall to wave in front of Mr. Krabs' face. That's a fun little gag right there. And then SpongeBob tells him the deed is done, and Mr. Krabs is like tough as nails, just like your old man. It's a funny bit there.
Yeah.
And then they need to figure out what they're gonna do with all this stuff. And we get
And then
a
SpongeBob
kind of
takes it.
we get kind of a bad ending here, I think.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not super strong, but it's all right.
The real question
I like that
is, working under
SpongeBob
Mr.
gets to have
Krabs,
fun.
could SpongeBob even afford all of this stuff in a year?
Hmm.
On what Mr. Krabs pays him? Probably not, no.
No.
Also, I like that Gary got like Gary's miserable here. He doesn't like that this
Yeah.
is happening. He's also got a new pattern on his shell, which is kind of sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Got these dark flowers on there.
It's good coral.
Yeah, I think so.
I like that coral is like terminology they stick with for the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even really call attention to it until midlife crustacean, right?
Yeah. Did it appear in earlier episodes? I think it was in Squeaky Boots.
I think it's in
Yeah.
Squeaky Boots.
Mm-hmm. So what did we think about Bossy Boots?
So this is a weird episode to me in that it is like, for the most part, very 4 out of 7 at best. But I do think like the core character dynamics at the end really do like elevate it in my mind, even though most of the episode's kind of mid. It's like, this is a really strong episode for Pearl and Krabs, and I mean, I think it's pretty strong character writing for like everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the humor's definitely weak in this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely one of the weaker season 2 episodes in my head, but like, given how consistently good season 2 is, I don't think that's really an insult to it. I
Right.
ended up giving it a 5. It's definitely a lower 5 to me, but I think like the story and conflict is interesting enough that I'm willing to comfortably put it in good territory.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I raised it to a 5 as well. It's definitely a lower 5 than Something Smells, but it absolutely deserves it in my eyes. It's just a very good, obviously, as you said, it kind of felt Squidward going away is a big flop for it, I think. He could have done a lot more. But
Mhm.
I really like the characterization. It's got some good jokes. I like it. It's a good
Good.
Pearl episode.
I also am ending up giving it a 5. I feel like it like let's see what everyone else says. I can like appreciate an episode of SpongeBob that has like a really like entertaining and like compelling story, even if it has like pretty light jokes. Because I think like the character driven stuff and the dynamics here are strong enough that like um, it's good enough for me to have to like consider it a good episode, even if it like does dip in the middle really pretty severely.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm also just kind of biased because I like whenever Pearl gets to do like anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pearl gets like so little that I appreciate when they give her good character moments.
For sure. I'm I was teetering between a 4 and a 5. Probably gonna stick with a 4. I would have given it a 5 if it were a little bit funnier. If, you know, it's a really good episode. It's a great Pearl episode. The story's really strong, how it all kind of plays out there. I do really wish that Squidward at least stuck around some in the second and third acts of it.
Yeah, like there is an element of I come to SpongeBob for laughs, and this episode's pretty light in that regard.
It feels in terms of like how jokes are delivered, and not really even in a bad kind of way. It feels very season one-ish, I guess. Probably
Yeah.
doesn't
This is
probably
one of those
doesn't
rare SpongeBob episodes that I come to primarily for the story.
Yeah, it's a really good story. It's a really good episode, but it could stand to be a little bit funnier, I think.
Hmm.
But it was
Yeah.
close. All right. So
Yeah.
we made it through 2 episodes today. So
We
what
did.
2 episodes are we going to make it through next time?
We are
We're going to
covering.
be making it through Big Pink Loser and Bubble Buddy.
Oh, that's going to be that's a dynamite block right there, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm excited for those two.
me too.
We'll get to see our friend Scooter again
Yeah.
before
And
his
before
tragic passing.
and before we head out, I just want to shout out Randall who drew this new background.
Yeah.
Really good work, Randall. I love the colors
Oh,
and shading here.
And
thanks a lot.
Erica did the new logo
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, the new
Yeah.
logo looks fantastic.
Yeah.
We did a good job, and I'm glad that you all like it too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So until then, we'll see you next time on the Cuddly Cast.
Bye-bye.
Hopefully we can get the
Bye.
logo fixed before then.
Yeah. Bye.